Hey guys. So we have moved from the first, second, third, and fourth commandment now into the fifth commandment. Um, what is the fifth commandment? At its core, I mean, what it tells us is you shall not kill, right? Again, a positive. Wait, is it positive? You shall not. Oh, it's a negative commandment. Okay, so it is a negative commandment. Thou shalt not. If we look, first commandment, right? Positive commandment. Love the Lord your God. Second commandment. What's the second commandment? Do not take the Lord's name in vain, so negative. Third, keep the holy the Lord's day, positive. Fourth commandment, honor your father and mother, positive. This one's a negative one, right? Don't do this, don't kill. But we can kind of frame it in a positive way, right? Don't kill. We should, in fact, respect, defend, and protect human life. That is actually the main thrust of the fifth commandment. So if we look at it in a positive way, it's telling us to love, right? Defend, respect, protect human life. Okay. So when we look at "you shall not kill," what does it essentially mean? It means that killing an innocent person is a flagrant violation of natural law and a most grievous sin. Most translations of the Bible take this one as "you shall not commit murder," because there are times where it is morally justifiable to take another person's life, to kill someone. We will talk more about those as we move throughout this particular chapter, but just keep that kind of on the back burner for now. So, if we're looking at this, the positive side of the command not to kill essentially is it affirms the dignity of the human person, right? That's what it does. Okay. So, one of the sins um, that your textbook talks about is scandal, right? Um, no, not to be confused with the TV show, although that it relates to it. Scandal is an attitude or behavior that leads another person to do evil. So, if I were to continually kind of teach you guys that something sinful is not sinful, right? That is scandalous behavior, right? It becomes a grave sin when it leads someone else to mortal sin, okay? And it is a violation of the fifth commandment. Now, I'll come back to that at some point when we go over the third question of this first section to talk about scandal. But it is, again, as someone in authority, I have a special obligation to avoid scandal because by nature of who I am and what I do as a teacher, I'm obliged to educate, teach, lead you guys, right? So it's a greater sin for someone in authority to do something scandalous than it is for someone who is in a lesser, if you will, position. But you guys do it too, right? When it comes to scandal, any bad behavior can provide a bad example that others can imitate and do. Um, like recommending movies or videos with immoral content that can scandalize others and kind of point them in the direction that, oh, this is okay to do, is scandalous, right? Immodest fashions can lead others to impurity. The list goes on, right? There's lots of things that we can that lead others to sin. When we do something that leads others to sin, we are committing the sin of scandal. Okay, why is that a violation of the fifth commandment? It's a failure to respect the dignity of the human person, right? So it's a violation of the fifth commandment. So, natural law, right, has demands on us in regards to our own physical lives, namely that we cultivate good health, avoid physical injury when possible, and protect our own dignity. Um, so there are a bunch of sins that violate the fifth commandment because they disrespect our own life, right? Suicide, cult of the body, gluttony, substance abuse are just some of many. If you look on page number 182 in your textbook, is it 182? Maybe not. Sorry, 183 and 184. So it's stuff that we'll talk about in class on Monday, possibly. If not, I'll give it in the video on Monday. But just kind of a preview for it. Okay? So that's a good start for us. If you have questions, you can certainly ask them in class on Monday when we have our Zoom meeting. But let's just quickly go over the first 3 questions of Chapter 7, You Shall Not Kill. First question, what makes human life sacred? First and foremost, what makes me, what makes you possess inherent dignity, right? And we know the answer. We've already talked about it this year. Each one of us, me, you, and every person you encounter, has been created in the image and likeness of God. Therefore, every human life is sacred and must be protected and nurtured, right? Due to who we are and whom we have been created by, right? Second question, what is the main thrust of the 5th commandment? We have the absolute duty to protect, respect, defend human life in all shapes, sizes, whenever we can. No ifs, ands, or buts, although there are some exceptions, right? And even then, it's never the ideal to take another person's life, just that there are some moral reasons why it would be acceptable. Not necessarily the wanted course of action, but a morally acceptable course of action. You'll notice I use the term morally acceptable. Just because something is morally acceptable doesn't mean it's the preferred choice or preferred course of action. Something to keep in mind as we move forward. Third and final question for today, what is scandal? Hopefully you have a pretty good background for that and feel for it now. Attitude or behavior that leads someone else to doing evil. It's a grave sin when it leads that other person to mortal sin by deed or omission, right? That is, by doing or not doing something they should or shouldn't do. Okay, that's it for today and this weekend. Please smash a like on the video. Make me feel good about myself, but more importantly, make sure you're getting these videos. Follow, and I will see you guys in class on Monday. Please come with some questions. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Love you guys. Miss you guys. See you guys. Bye. And I missed